Hi, this is Hardball Retro. Welcome to the Retrodome. Today we'll be doing a quick review of the final regular season standings from my replay of the 1980 through 1984 actuals, or AKA Franchise Best Players organization that I created in APBA Baseball for Windows version 5.5, and I then migrated it to version 5.75. So we'll take a look at the standings, leaderboards, and then I'm going to simulate the playoffs, and then I will be doing individual videos with Ernie Harwell doing the play-by-play for the World Series. So let's jump right in here. So just to provide a little bit of a background here, I call these organizations that I'm creating the actuals, because I have the originals and the actuals. The originals are basically the teams that I came up with for my book, Hardball Retrospective. And in that book, we take each player and put them on the first team that they signed a professional major league contract with. And we keep them on that team for the duration of their career. So let's say Ricky Henderson will always be a member of the Athletics. Mike Piazza will always be a member of the Dodgers, and so forth. So, and to differentiate that or do comparisons, basically I came up with the originals is the teams that with those players being on their original franchise. And then the actuals are the players, their actual real life teams and stats. Just to do, for example, how did the 1985 original Yankees compare to the 1985 actual Yankees? So, and what I'm doing here is I break these up into half decades. I take the top 40 players on each team, and the top 40 player seasons. I pick the best season of 5 for players that have, or basically the best season for a player in that given half decade, and the top 40 of them based on win shares. Bill James win shares will wind up on those rosters. Generally, so I usually do 15 batters, 10 pitchers. Sometimes it's 14 batters, 11 pitchers, and then 15 reserves. And let's see what else. Usually ensuring that there's at least 2 catchers on the active roster. So for this particular exercise here, I did do 40-man rosters. The 15 reserves are in the farm organization. I did not move those players up and down in the lineup, and I only turned on fatigue. So yeah, no injuries here, just fatigue. So players shouldn't play too much over the amount of playing time that they would have received. I did make adjustments for players in the strike-shortened 1981 season so that that their maximum batters faced or their season factor ratings would be equivalent to a 162 game season and not 110 or 112, whatever they played in 1981. So, and just to clarify, so like let's say 1980 through 84, obviously George Brett would probably, all 5 of his seasons would probably be worthy of being on the Royals roster. So I take the best of his 5 seasons, which in this case turned out to be 1980. So anyway, you'll see the a two-digit year appended to the player names when I get there. Okay, so obviously you see the standings page here. The Orioles topped out with 101 victories here in the AL East, 4 games better than the Red Sox. And let's see, the White Sox, the only team above 500 in the American League West, 83 victories. So they're going to square off in the playoffs here. Kind of a rematch of the 83 playoffs there. Let's see down here. We've got the National League East. We've got the Phillies with a winning the East by 5 games over the Cubs, Expos, and Cardinals. The Mets, who struggled until the 1984 season in this particular half decade in real life, they finished with a 54-108 record. So obviously by far the worst record here. And the Reds squeezed out a victory in the NL West by 2 games over the Padres, 4 over the Dodgers. It was a pretty tight race in the West here. So let's go ahead. And I'm not sure if there's anything of major interest in here, but you guys can see the home and away, the 1-run, the records in extra innings versus your division versus the other division, and so on. So let's get out of this and go to, let's bring up the batting screen here, the batting leaderboards. Okay, so we've got George Brett, 1980. Not really a surprise here. 372 average, leading the way. We're looking at the majors here. I didn't split this into AL and NL. So got Brett, Tony Gwynn, Mickey Rivers, the top 3 hitters here. You can, I'm not going to read all of these here, but you can see the top 10 in each category. Slugging, George Brett on base percentage. Eddie Murray leading the way in runs created, though. Brett with the second place finish there. And let's see, hitting streaks. Longest hitting streak in the season, Lloyd Mosby of the Jays, the 29-gamer. Total average, runs contributed. Some of these sabermetric statistics that were included here have kind of fallen by the wayside, but they're still interesting nonetheless. Runs scored. Jack Perconte of the Mariners with 121. Eddie Murray next with 118. And Dwight Evans, Boston, 117. RBIs. And yes, 162 ribbies for Tony Armas of the Red Sox. Ripken next with 135. And Reggie Jackson with 124. Player with the most hits, we have 2 tied with 221 base hits. It's Mickey Rivers and Tony Gwynn. Willie Wilson with 217. And we've got a total of 6 players with 200 hits at least. 70 doubles for Robin Yount, 82. Wow. That's pretty amazing. Doug DeCinces and Cal Ripken next on the list. Ripken and McRae tied with 55 there. And let's see, triples. We've got Lloyd Mosby with 19. Ryan Sandberg, 18. Rock Raines, 17. Most homers, Tony Armas, 63. Mike Schmidt, 43. Gary Carter, 42. Most walks, Willie Randolph, 116. Hargrove, Ricky Henderson, and Boggs with 105. Most strikeouts, Wayne Tollison. And this is one of those cases where if I was bringing players up and down from the farm system, he wouldn't have got, Tollison would not receive enough at-bats to well, at least he wouldn't be first. But they had no other shortstops on their roster, so he got pretty much all the playing time there. Let's see here. Left on base, grounded into double plays to Sensei again. Multi-hit games, Rivers and Gwynn. Carew third, tied with Al Oliver. Stolen bases, we've got Ricky Henderson with 79. I am using Duke Robinson Jr., I believe, is the computer manager. So again, this would be one of those things where you might adjust the micromanager to fit your needs here. I just made him the micromanager for all teams. So again, that will skew the results a bit every time you change the micromanager or change the the fatigue or injury settings and so forth. It will change your results here. So we have Willie Wilson with an 88.5 stolen base percentage here. So let's go to the pitching leaderboards. Okay, Steve Carlton, 21-8. Scott McGregor, 19-3. Al Nipper for Boston, 18-3. And Jeff Zahn with 18-10. Win percentage. Let's see what else is of interest here. Sutton, 241, 242 for Carlton. Seaver, 248. So again, Seaver was one of the ones, being from 1981, that I adjusted his maximum batters faced so that he didn't become overused after 20-some starts, whatever. I think he made 23 starts that year, something like that. Innings pitched, Carlton. Opposing batting average, Pete Ladd of the Brewers. I definitely see some relievers there. That makes sense. Games started, complete games. Seaver with 13 complete games. Atlee Hammaker with 12. Mike Norris, 11. Carlton with 10. Shutouts, Hammaker with 6. Let's see, anything else of interest here? No wins. Lowest run support per 9, Dave Dravecki of the Padres. And most run support, Bud Black of the Royals. Most strikeouts, Carlton, 215, Doc Gooden, 203. Floyd Bannister, third, 196. Strikeouts per 9, Nolan Ryan, Mark Langston, Doc Gooden. Lowest base runners per 9, Carlton. Lowest hits per 9, Carlton. Lowest walks per 9, Lamar Hoyt. And lowest home runs per 9, Joaquin Andujar. All right, so we did not look at relievers. We can look at that quickly here. Relief pitching. No, not that one. This one here. And then maybe we'll show the top 4 teams briefly, I think. Okay, Quisenberry, Steve Howe, Bruce Suter, Tim Stoddard, all with 30-plus saves. And close out of that, let's look at the team reports. Let's pick the Orioles because they won 101 games. We'll look at their batting and pitching. And just to give you an idea who was on their 25-man roster here, right? So the pitching staff, basically McGregor, Boddicker, Palmer, Storm Davis, Dennis Martinez, Steve Stone, and then in the bullpen we have Stewart, Martinez, Stoddard, Flanagan barely got in. 19-3 by McGregor. Probably the best overall line there. Stoddard and Tippy Martinez splitting the, mostly Stoddard getting the save opportunities here. All right. And you can say, well, how come Ripken 84 instead of 82 or 83? Or, if Murray was, steady Eddie, you probably could have picked any one of his seasons from 80 to 84. So again, it was based on win shares, their top single season win share total. So, and this might have been in some cases by percentage points. So there's Murray having an outstanding season with 40 dingers. Ripken 305, 33, and 135. Excellent. There's Al Bunbury, almost 200 hits. Who else? Who else got a lot of playing time here? I mean, offensively, that's basically it there. Although we do have 23 home runs from Dan Graham catching here. So between him and Dempsey, 30 dingers, right? And so you will also see with the actuals or the franchise best, whatever you want to call them, right? So you see Doug DeCinces here, 1980 Baltimore. He did not fare too well in this particular replay. But then if I go to reports team and I pick out the Angels and batting, and now we have Doug DeCinces 82, and he did much better here, 25, 86, and the 59 doubles. So again, if top 40 single season win share totals for a given franchise in the 1980 to 1984 timeframe in this particular example. So he will appear on both teams. Some players are on probably 3 teams here. So, all right. So that's a quick wrap on the results from the regular season. So I'm going to play, have the computer manager. We're going to simulate the playoffs, and then I will do individual games. Computer will manage. Ernie Harwell will do the play-by-play for the World Series for the 1980 through 84 franchise best players, or the actuals, as I call them. And so keep an eye out for those videos. They should be coming up soon. In the meantime, thanks for watching. Keep playing ball, and we'll see you soon. Thanks.